What is up, guys? So part 2 of the video, trying to figure out this annoying whine from the 1FZ. I know a lot of you guys have probably experienced it, but turns out it was a super easy fix. In the first part of the video, we replaced the idler pulley. Turns out that wasn't the reason. So turns out that after spending about $400 on new water pump, new thermostat when I replaced the water pump, new idler pulley, some other parts that we replaced on the front of the engine, turns out it was just the belts. So there's a great write-up on mud on different people that have experienced different noises, but we fixed it. So all we did was replace the belts. We went with Toyota OEM belts. In the first part of the video, we had already replaced the idler pulley, so this is the old one. Honestly, this thing's still good, 100%. Even looks, I mean, it looks almost new. No corrosion at all on it, so probably just sell it. But if you're getting a whine noise on the front, on your 1FZ, look at your belts. If your belts are ribbed like this, like you'd see on a supercharger or something like that, supercharged engine, that is your noise. So when these are paired with the OEM idler pulley, then you will get a whine noise from your 1FZ. So from the first part of the video, if you listen to that, that's exactly what will happen. So what people do is if they run ribbed belts, common one is Gates belts, they will remove their idler pulley. Mr. T obviously put that idler pulley on there for a reason. So we went with OEM belts and the idler pulley, and it's quiet as a mouse. So we'll put that video, we'll put that clip at the end of the video so you can hear just how quiet it is, and you can compare it to part 1 of this investigation, and you can see this engine is extremely quiet now. So to me, the best combo was to put OEM belts with the OEM idler pulley on the truck. I'll also post a link to the mud forum where people talk about this, because it's a pretty good read. But if you're gonna run ribbed belts, then you're either gonna have to deal with the noise, or you can just not run the idler pulley and plug it with a bolt. Like I said, Mr. T put that idler pulley on there for a reason. So yeah, it sounds great now. I mean, the truck is so quiet. You'll see at the end of the video, I mean, it sounds just like the Toyota sewing machine that it is. Real quick, I'm gonna take you through the belt replacement. I didn't video it, but it's actually very simple. A lot of people spend a lot of time taking out their fan shroud, taking out their battery tray and things like that. It's a lot easier than that. So let me take you through it real quick, so that you can replace those belts a lot faster and enjoy, one extra beer than that guy that has to remove his battery tray and his fan shroud. But ultimately, extremely happy with the results. You'll see from the video, it makes a big difference, and the problem is fixed. So these are going in the trash. The part numbers for the new belts are going to be, they're going to be easy to find, but I'll put them on the camera. Just hold them right here so you can see. All right, so if you want to get these belts, I'll put these also in the description so you know what to look for. But get rid of those ribbed belts. Run OEM parts in your truck. They're still pretty available for the 1FZs. They're expensive, but you can get some good deals around town. But yeah, let's go through how to replace those belts. All right, guys, so the first thing you want to do is replace this splash shield. This splash shield is held in by 4 bolts that put it underneath, in between the steering stabilizer and the engine. So all it is just a splash shield for your belts. All right, so you'll remove this first. All right, guys, so once you have it removed, currently underneath the truck, we are on the passenger side of the truck right now, so where the AC tension pulley is. So if you can see my hand, this is it right here. What you're gonna do is take a 14 millimeter on the end right here. You can see it right through there. And you're gonna just loosen that up. And then once that's loosened up, what you can do is you can just you can take this, loosen this up also. It's gonna bring this pulley in, as you can see along this channel right here. And then once that's in, your AC belt will just pop right off. So super simple. It's 2 bolts. You got to remove the splash shield though, and I found that once that's removed, it's super easy. And you can fit a
through here, you can actually fit a, I used a breaker bar to hit this, and most definitely use 6-point sockets. So 6-point sockets and a breaker bar and you'll be good to go. And you can take that belt right off. All right, so once you have the AC belt off, you'll move on to the two alternator belts. So as you can see, those run actually right here. So we're gonna go to the top of the truck of the engine bay to talk about how to remove those. Okay guys, so this is where people will spend a lot of time removing the battery tray and things like that. The way that I tackled this is I did not do that, and it requires a little bit more work. So the first thing that you're gonna do is, I'm not sure if you can see it, but you can see right above the alternator, you can see a little bolt head right there. So I'm gonna try to point in there without taking the focus off the camera. So you can see that I'm pointing to that bolt head right there. So what we're gonna do is actually loosen that up, and that's actually the pivot for the alternator. So you'll loosen that up a couple turns until it's just slightly loose. Okay, once that's loose, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go down below this belt right here, right underneath this either pulley. Correction, right above the either pulley and right below the alternator pulley right here. And right below that, you'll see a little, almost like a block with a nut, and you're gonna loosen that nut up. So just a couple turns, just like the AC pulley down there, it's just a nut and it locks the tensioner in. So you'll just loosen that up a couple times. Okay, so this is where most of your time will be spent. So it's gonna be really hard to see, but I'll try to point it out to you guys. So right to the right of the alternator pulley is a little bolt head, and you can barely see it. Let's see if I can get my hand in there. Right above my fingernail right there is the bolt head. Okay, so the way that I loosen that up is I actually used a ratcheting wrench. I stuck a ratcheting wrench in there and just poured sweat as I moved a couple, quarter turn at a time, and you're gonna completely remove that. Once that's completely removed, it'll take the tension off these belts, okay? Once the tension is taken off those belts, and you have the AC belt off, what you can do is you can take these belts and you can loop them over this fan and kind of turn the fan around, and it'll allow them to rotate around the fan, pop off the front part of the fan. So you'll actually pull them out between the fan and between the radiator, and you'll be able to remove both, okay? All right, so once you've done that, and all the belts have been removed, what you're gonna wanna do is you can install the AC belt. I take that back, you're gonna do reverse order. So you're gonna do these two belts first, and you'll do the AC belt. So you'll put these on the exact same way. So you'll rotate them around the fan and then slide them off. I found that these belts, once they're around the fan, the best way to get them on is to come in from the bottom. So get underneath the truck and then get those on from the bottom. That's gonna be the hardest part, is getting those around there. So once those two are on, I didn't have to do anything crazy to get those on. Didn't have to turn the engine over or anything like that. They went right on. You'll be able to put the AC belt on. The AC belt on, super easy. Once that's done, put tension back on the belts, and then by basically doing a reverse process. So you'll just take that tensioner, screw it all the way back in, tighten it back down with the block, little nut that's on the block on the tensioner, and then you'll tighten down the top that we showed you earlier. So it's just a reverse process. And then on the AC, it's the exact same thing. So you'll tighten it back down with the tensioner, and then you'll lock down the tensioner. Once that's done, should be quiet as a mouse. As you can see, we got our brand new either pulley here. So, was it a waste of money? Probably, but at least it looks good. So yeah, once that's done, the truck should run really, really smoothly. Like I said, I'll include a video of it at the end. But yeah, that's really it.
right, guys, so thanks for watching. Got the truck all pretty much where we want it. As quiet as a mouse. Super easy fix. Don't spend all the money like I did. Tackle these cheap fixes first to see if they work. Belts were $12 or something from Toyota. So if you have that whine noise that you can't figure out what it was, or you just bought your Toyota, I actually bought it. It had those gates or those ribbed belts on it, and I've been hunting down that issue. So super easy fix. Maybe you smarter mechanics would have caught that right off the bat. But I have to give a shout out to my guys up at Slee, Ben at Slee, for pointing me in the right direction on this. If you ever need anything, give those guys a call. But please subscribe to the channel if you're not. It really helps out. And I love putting out videos, and I'm gonna try to put out more on these cruisers. We got some really cool stuff coming up, so make sure you stay tuned. We got some really big trips. It's gonna be some awesome times coming up with a couple other really cool Landcruisers. So thanks for watching, and thanks for all the support. It's honestly been amazing. So yeah.